Y'all follow this guy. You give him 39,000 likes. They go, oh, he just ratioed Tim. He was lying to you, and he knew it. I responded to him right away. Let's make a bet, $1,000 that you're wrong. And he wouldn't take the bet. Why not?
Like, what did you think was gonna happen when you were hanging out with Nazis? It's so weird when I hang out with these Nazis. They do Nazi things. I don't know where it comes from, honestly. And who could have seen this coming? All right, I want to hear about Tim Pool selling to the Daily Wire or not selling to the Daily Wire. Apparently, I don't know.
All right, let's do a longer video on the Daily Wire story that went around 2 weeks ago and was picked up by a whole bunch of these people who are obsessed with the Jews. Jake Shields, I'm talking to you because you're a liar. You're a liar, Jake. And it's funny that people follow what you say because I do think it's not so much that you're a liar, but you're
leopards, feasting. Jake Shields is a piece of shit, massive transphobe, huge asshole, big anti-Semite, massive racist. You know what's funny about him, though, is that he's not of the pure white race. He's actually been called out by the other white supremacists who are just like, wait, you're not totally white, bro? I never said I was fully white. Ah, you lied to us. No, not pure. Which is always hilarious to see. It's like when they turn on like Nick Fuentes and the gripers are all like, well, he's like, he's not that Mexican. He's like a small percentage of Mexican, okay? He's mostly white. He's mostly pure. Mostly pure. So that was really funny. But the guy, yeah, apparently Jake Shields is not beloved amongst all members of the right wing. And right now, him and Tim Pool have been fighting a lot online. Jake Shields just loves his anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. And so he's just been responding. Like, I think Tim put out a tweet that was like, people who are obsessed with like the Jews are cringe, and then he wrote back, yeah, that's because you got bought out by the Jews, bro, and you're owned by them and all this other kind of stuff. And I was like, I mean, it takes one hell of a clown to make Tim Pool correct, and you, sir, have done that. It's a rare day when you can give Tim Pool a very clear and decided win, but Jake Shields achieved that goal.
Wrong all the time. And I think a lot of people who live in this crackpot conspiracy world about the Jews are wrong all the time. And so it's not that they're
maybe you should stop inviting them onto your show. Stop inviting them. Well, why would you do that? You don't think I'm like completely accurate in this? Nick Fuentes, a very, very key example there. What about Ye? Brought Ye on there, and both of them are going off on this whole thing where they're like, they control it all. They control it all. He's like, well, I don't totally agree. I don't totally agree. It's like, no, you understand what they do and what we mean when we say they. And it's like, well, okay, if you're going to platform all these white supremacists, anti-Semites, racists, you can't come out the other day and be like, man, those people who are obsessed with Jewish folk, they are very cringe, I believe is the term.
You're allowed to be wrong, but when people tell you you're wrong, you're supposed to say, yeah, I was wrong about that. And so this story popped up from an outlet that's tiny, and I don't understand why anybody would take seriously. MediaRightNews.com. December 17th, claiming Tim Pool sold Operation to the Daily Wire. There's so much wrong with this story that it's laughable to me.
I know the irony. Can you... What's that? A right-wing publication online spreading fake news? Not being factually accurate? Oh, say it ain't so.
That it went viral the way it did. What I will say is, at the time, people asked me to comment, Tim, did you really sell to the Daily Wire? And I explicitly stated no. It's 100% false with a but. And that but is... we are in the middle of contract negotiations. I'm not going to comment specifically on every...
Whoa, that's a massive butt, though. That's not exactly the kind of asterisk at the end of a sentence where it's like, and we were offered something, but we refused. And then it's like, okay, well, there's a comma for you. But if you're adding but, we are currently under negotiations for our entire network to be possibly acquired by another network, of which I cannot comment on at this time due to ongoing negotiations. There's a pretty big old butt there.
Every single thing that's being negotiated. But there was never a sale negotiated to the Daily Wire. We had never, here's the thing about the story, is that it says that the Daily Wire already owned a minority stake in Timcast. That's fake news, 100% fake news. Why would I do that? Guys, you got to understand something. Okay, look. When this story broke, Clint Russell tweeted out that my boy Tim just pulled in $100 million or something. Because if he was going to sell Timcast, that's what he's got to get for it. And right, that's why we're not selling the company. It's insane. We do well. We make a lot of money. We don't do that many ad reads. We have been negotiating for months on doing more ads. Everybody does it. We are one of the only shows that does limited ads. And you might be thinking, that's crazy, Tim. Why don't you do it? And you know, you're right. And so there's a lot to break down in what's coming up in this year. And I'll also add, I'm a big fan of Daily Wire. They've been really, really good to us here at Timcast. We've done tons of crossovers. The reason why we did the election live stream was because our plan, because we were planning that party, fell through. And so we reached out to the Daily Wire. They reached out to us because we talked to them periodically. And I think what happened was we were trying to secure sponsors. We were trying to secure a venue. We didn't know how to make it work. We wanted people to be able to come. We wanted to do a party. And we were going to do like an all-day thing. And it wasn't working out. And then I think Daily Wire asked about doing like a crossover where we jump in to say what's up or something like that. And then it evolved into, hey, look, we're trying to look for a place to do this big show. And our plan didn't work out. You know, we've done this before where we've come to the Daily Wire and they were like, that would be incredible. Because then we do this big collab where I walked over to their stream. We had like Jordan Peterson on the show. It was really, really great. I'm a big fan of the Daily Wire. Good people. We'll probably do more collaborations in the future. But no, we were never selling to them. And so I will tell you, my friends, the first thing that I want you to understand, and a reason...
Doesn't it suck? Doesn't it suck when like there's these right-wing publications that just publish things that are just demonstrably false, and then other people run with them as if they were factually correct, and then the story's out there, and then it feels like it's too late, and then at that point it's just too hard to be able to actually push back with factual information. Isn't that the worst? Yeah.
Why I'm doing this segment and talking about it now is to give you some in-depth understanding in the psychology of news, particularly around people like Jake Shields, who, you know, for a while he was commenting on cultural issues in a way that resonated with a lot of people, but now his whole thing is just the Jews, to the point where he called Phil Labonte a Jew. One of my favorite things about these people, and I do think it's largely an op. I don't think it's completely an op, but I think there's a lot of elements of it that are tended to inflame people into psychotic thinkings. But we'll break this down, the psychology of news. You know how they make those charts where they show like all these different media personalities and they put stars of David on them? They once, one that was circulating for a while, had Luke Rudkowski on it. I remember seeing it and being like, Luke is not Jewish, dude. Like, okay, I mean, you can put Brian Stelter on there, and I know he's not Jewish, and it's funny. But I don't really know Brian Stelter. But when they put Luke Rudkowski of We Are Change on it, I just started busting out laughing. And I hit him up. I'm like, Luke, since when were you a Jew? And he was like, holy crap, what? They were accusing We Are Change? He's anti-war, anti-establishment. He's critical of all of the war machine. For some reason, they put him on that list because these people are unwell. And I think there's a couple elements of it. The first thing, obviously, is, you know, are there powerful interests related?
Yeah, maybe just stop platforming fascists. That probably easy fix to all of this. Just across the board. Start to finish. Yeah, it's just really weird, you know. They eventually kind of start saying that they want to eliminate the Jews, and then they start accusing random people of being Jewish, and then they try to justify their extermination policies based on that. It's just silly, you know, those silly extremists.
To Israel and Jewish people? Of course there are. Are there a lot of people, like disproportionate amount of people in Hollywood, for instance, are Jewish? Yeah, absolutely. Jon Stewart even.
Look, I'm going to sit here and say that like every single conspiracy theory about Jewish people is unfounded or doesn't have basis in reality. I'm not going to say that, but I'm just saying there's some people who they take it too far. They take it too far. Come on.
And brought that up recently when the Kanye West thing happens. But what these people understand is, this is what I bring up. Let me start here. The psychology of the news cycle. So I'm talking to some homies who are like, yo, bro, are you selling to the Daily Wire? We saw this news. And I said, what network are we with right now? And they went, huh?
Is that how y'all talk to each other? I don't think so. I've been inside the Tim Pool house. That wasn't really how the discourse was going down.
what network is Timcast currently signed to? And they said, I don't know. I said, why don't you know? I mean, if you're going to believe these rumors about us selling the entire company in 2 weeks, which is insane, considering it was 45 employees, multiple properties, IP assets up the wazoo, 20 different individual LLCs, trusts, S-corps. Like, come on, guys. It's nuts. I said, why haven't you asked yourself, okay, so here's some news. So when we were negotiating contracts, and one of the reasons why I'm like, I'm not here to comment on these stories because they interfere, and I believe likely this was an attempt to interfere in contract negotiations. And so I said, why don't you know that we are already signed to the same network as Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly? And my buddy was just like, I don't know. Nobody talked about it. I said, well, hold on. Don't you think rumors should be flying around with articles popping up saying Tim Pool joins the same network as Tucker? I mean, that's a big deal, isn't it? Tucker Carlson. You know, they call him woke right, apparently. Nobody cared. Now, why?
What does any of these words mean? I'm trying to look up what exactly is the network that Tucker Carlson signed to. Do you mean X?
Ask yourself this. I hope all of Jake Shields' fans and Myron Gaines, shout out. I like Myron because, like, you know, Myron comes on the show. We talk about these issues, and he's always been very chill. But why is it that so many people who follow them only see Jews everywhere? And I'm telling you, it's because this is Jew derangement syndrome or Israel derangement syndrome.
The fuck are you talking about? Because they're fascists. They're racists. Jesus Christ. No, why is it that all these people I talk to seem to just be obsessed with Jewish folk? No, why are they obsessed with crime rates and black people? Well, why do they talk about these things all the time? Because they're racist. I'm glad I could provide my services. Mystery solved.
Now, here's what they do to deflect. When I'm talking about Israel derangement syndrome or Jewish derangement syndrome, whatever you call it, I'm not talking about you saying, I don't like that AIPAC is lobbying our members of Congress. That's not derangement syndrome. That's criticism.
Yeah, if only there was a term that one could apply to people who feel this way and feel that there are massive conspiracies in the world in which Jewish people control vectors of power everywhere, and they're using it in order to manipulate the strings and manipulate politicians and control the media and control all facets. If only there was a way to describe this phenomenon that a lot of your friends and people around you seem to all believe.
Of a lobby. I'm not talking about someone saying, I don't like that Israel is bombing Gaza, attacking these areas. I don't like that they're launching attacks in Syria and Lebanon. You're allowed to criticize all of those things, as I've repeatedly stated. See, what they do, though, is when I say, of course you're allowed to criticize Israel. Of course you're allowed to question the motives of individualist tribal groups for whatever reason. They deflect and say, Tim calls that Israel derangement syndrome. No, I don't. 100%. You're allowed to do all of those things. You want to know what I criticize? When they write these stories about the Daily Wire, and then Jake Shields posts something like, says the guy who just sold his entire media company to Jews. I said, you want to make a bet? $1,000. You buy me a bottle.
Yeah, but maybe if you get in bed with fascists, the bed is full of fascists. Did you consider this? I mean, this really seems to be a problem with the company you keep. I don't have this problem on the left. Not a single other leftist content creator. I sit there and I worry one day they're just going to pop into my replies and be like, oh, Lance, that's because you sold yourself to the Jews. I don't have that fear or worry, concern. In fact, I don't think about it at all, ever.
Pappy, if you're wrong. Oh, what's wrong, Jake? Homeboy couldn't take that bet because he knew he was lying. I'm going to say it again. Jake knew he was lying. I'm going to say it again, Jake. I hope you hear this one. Y'all follow this guy. You give him 39,000 likes. They go, oh, he just ratioed Tim. He was lying to you, and he knew it. I respond to him right away. Let's make a bet, $1,000 that you're wrong. And he wouldn't take the bet. Why not? If he thought it was true, he would.
It's pretty good popcorn. Like, what did you think was gonna happen when you were hanging out with Nazis? It's so weird when I hang out with these Nazis. They do Nazi things. I don't know where it comes from, honestly. Who could have seen this coming?
Said, deal. I'll take that bet. Even if he thought there was a 51% chance it was true, he'd take the bet. This guy knows he is lying, but he knows he gets traffic. He knows he gets the views, so he pushes the lies anyway. I'm going to say it again. I tweeted, the quote, Jews run the world people are so cringe, holy ish. And he responded, says the guy who just sold his entire company to Jews. First of all, I mean, the Daily Wire has like one Jewish guy in it. Jeremy Boring is not Jewish, but I digress. Fine. You see what he's talking about, right? Who do we sell to, bro? I said right away. Same next day. I said $1,000. You buy me a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle. I'm not a drinker, but it's not about the money. That's why I said $1,000. You buy me a bottle of Pappy, because we put it up for our guests. We actually don't have the booze here anymore, but that was the point. Homie didn't take the bet. Why not? Well, because he knew it wasn't true. And the only reason they're talking about it, and the only reason he's saying it, is that he knows he's going to get hits because of it. Now, I'll tell you why I think a lot of it is an op.
It's not an op. He's just a racist. And you were almost there. And you were like halfway. It's like, yeah, he's going to spread some racism online because he's got a lot of racists who follow him, a lot of anti-Semites, a lot of Nazis, a lot of groypers, and they're going to race show your ass. And then they're going to go on to the next thing. And that's what they do online. And then they go troll.
If you look at a lot of the...
I know, and that's the funny thing about all this is he did sell out to the Russians, technically. Like, if you want to talk about contract negotiations or where a whole bunch of funding was coming, I mean, we could talk about Tenet Media. But Tim Pool, technically, as he will be very fast to tell you, he wasn't himself directly signed to that network. He was licensing his content, and he was just being paid what he considered to be a normal fee to be able to take and cut and paste little pieces of videos from another channel and give them to another channel for hundreds of thousands of dollars per video, which apparently is just his market rate. And I mean, yeah, I did not know that people had such market rates online. That seems like a comically, almost cartoonishly high level of money to be paid to be able to take money from another channel, the secondary or tertiary channel of yours, and then give it to someone else. I would look into who exactly are the wealthy benefactors who want to take that and get your branding in exchange for what? But yeah, that's just what it is.
From some of these accounts. Not all of them. An op doesn't mean everybody engages a bot. It means the numbers are inflated by bots. It doesn't mean it's 100%. It could be 3%. But you can tell there are fake accounts, sock puppets, trying to engage in these spam blasts. And you notice, I mentioned this last week, because they don't make sense based on the core tweet. So if a bot farm isolates your account under certain qualifiers, we'll put it this way. There are people who like the Cubs, and there are people who like the White Sox.
You don't need to go this deep. It's not complicated. Like, there's not some massive conspiracy theory here where it's just like, I think the whole thing was an op, and I think that's why he got the ratio on me, and he refuses to take on my bet for the world's most expensive bourbon because he knows that he's a liar. Yeah, he doesn't want to fucking take the bet because he's not there to make a bet. He's there to just get the ratio and then move on to the next person that he's going to spread anti-Semitism to. He's there to spread the anti-Semitism.
One day, you with 1 million followers tweet, you know, the Cubs played really, really well today. I got to give it to them. Credit where credit is due. However, you've been a longtime Sox fan, but you're just saying, hey, they did play a good game. A bot farm sees that tweet and puts you in the Cubs category. And they say, this guy is a Cubs fan. It doesn't understand the nuance or the context around you saying, no, look, you know, they played well. When a bot farm attack occurs, individuals can't run every single account. So they have generic AI responses. It used to be more rudimentary where you'd see like 50 accounts all tweet the exact same thing. Now they're slightly different. But a funny thing happens. You say something like, hey, look, man, the Cubs played really great today. You got to admit it. Give them credit where credit is due. The bot farm says, categorize, Timcast, Cubs fan. The next day, as an actual Sox fan, you are watching the Crosstown Classic in Chicago where Cubs and Sox play each other, and you tweet, the Sox are going to crush it.
I'm so bored, Jesus Christ.
Indicator, they're bot accounts. They're not verified. Their names appear to be a random string of numbers.
Jesus Christ, you can just be ratioed by a Nazi. It happens all the time. It doesn't have to be a fucking massive ass conspiracy involving bots and farming and all that kind of stuff.
Very obvious. But when these accounts hit the like button or the retweet, it makes it look like your content is popular. So Let's throw it again to this story about the Daily Wire. Let me show you. Look at this. Updated. It appears the deal is not happening after all. Hold on there, buddies, over at Media Right News. That's not what you wrote. You wrote Pool additionally already had the Daily Wire as a silent minority partner in Timcast for months. What do you mean the deal isn't happening after all? We don't know if it was canceled, if it was never going to happen. Pool got lots of criticism on X after the initial reports, but refused to say yes or no until today. Y'all ran fake news. You see, this is the challenging thing about media that I can understand for a lot of companies, for a lot of politicians.
This is wild because, like, this is your job. This is what Tim does for a living. Like, literally every single day. He often uses his own website as the source. He's like, going over to timcast.com. I've got a new article up here, and what it says and what it shows. My friends, look at this. It appears. And then you're just like, yeah, but you're the source of the story. That's not true. This never happened. You're just spreading fake news. And now that really sucks for the people who are on the other end of this fake news, because they're going to have to try and debunk it. And by that time, the story's already running and most people believe it is truth. And like, if only there was some measure to be able to defend against this kind of bullshit from happening. And this is what just happened to you. Oh, God.
It's not always so easy. So I'll tell you what's going on. We're still negotiating with ad sales networks. We were never selling the company. And if I'm going to come out and so I've got, let's say we got 4 companies lined up, and I'm telling all of them, we are in negotiations with other companies. This was an attempt to spike our negotiations that I think was more likely related to someone trying to burn a contract or something than anything actually having to do with media. They want me to come out and talk about it and give as much information as I can because it'll undermine my negotiating position for the contracts we're currently in. Now, as we are nearly complete with all of this, and January 1st has come and gone and the story was fake news, I have no problem going into greater detail and shouting out this. I hope all of the people who get wrapped up in the Jew conspiracy theory that people like Jake Shields push recognize this dude is intentionally lying to you to get clicks.
Again, maybe you should stop having them on your show. Maybe you should stop having the Nick Fuenteses on your show. The Milo Yiannopoulos, the Yays. Stop inviting them on your show to spread anti-Semitic conspiracy theories and then acting shocked when the leopards suddenly want to feast upon you. Like, hey, how dare you speak out? How dare you speak out?
I'm not saying all 39,000 likes were bots. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there certainly are bots involved. And there's bots involved in basically everything. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying this dude knew the story was likely not true at the very least. Because I offered him a bet. It's $1,000. Jake Shields got $1,000. What's the big deal? He can buy me a bottle of Pappy. It's not going to hurt his bankroll. Come on. He's not a poor guy. He didn't take the offer. Why not? He knows it's not true. So understand this. In the psychology of news, you ask yourself, why is it that some stories get pushed so hard and others do not? When we were talking with the network that, you know, is currently signed Tucker, Megyn Kelly, Barry Weiss, etc. Good dudes, by the way, shout out. Nobody ran these stories. No rumor mill stuff was flying around. I mean, that's a big deal, right? I mean, Tucker Carlson, we were actually signed to this network first. And what a network means is they basically do ad sales and they...
Okay, so he's talking about an ad network. That's what they were a part of, and that's fine. There's not really any story there. It's pretty wild that, of course, yeah, again, you get in bed with the worst fucking people. They're going to do the worst fucking things. They're horrible. They're not good people. It's not a surprise to me at all. Yeah, maybe stop platforming these assholes. Maybe stop hanging out with them. Maybe stop trying to reduce everything to like, oh, well, this is just identitarianism. I'm against identitarianism. You just call a spade a spade. You know, these peoples are fascists, they're Nazis, they're racist, they're anti-Semites, they're fucking the scum of the earth. Jake Shields is one of the worst human beings on the platform.
Blackmail operations, as have white people, black people, Asian people, Mexican people, Hondurans, Canadians. If I said Canadians run blackmail operations as a blanket statement, well, it's technically true in the sense that there are people in Canada who are Canadians and they run blackmail operations. This is derangement syndrome.
He's got to be careful because I think he's going to get pushback on this. There's going to be all these people that are just saying, wait, is Tim part of the woke right? Is he trying to say that Jews do not, in fact, control the media? Is he trying to push back against that? Is he trying to, in fact, wokeify this issue? This sounds like wokeness. SJW, DEI even.
But I'm going to say it again. I think Jake knows he's lying. I think he knows he's playing character because it makes money for him. It gives him a following and it makes him feel like he has purpose. It really does break down to this. To all of the people who follow these guys, ask yourselves why it was they claimed we had sold to the Daily Wire when the story made literally no sense. Sold his entire company to Jews. Take my bet, bro. Retroactively take the bet.
Retroactively take the bet. Is there anything new? Jake believes Elon Musk and I are Jewish because he said he was about free speech, and I pulled my verifications, so now I can't go live. Oh yeah, Jake Shields was one of the people who lost his badge. That was during the entire H1B apocalypse that took place, if you don't recall. So I thought a lot of that was having to do with Adrian Dittman and him being embarrassed about Adrian Dittman, but now that it's been confirmed that Adrian Dittman is not in fact Elon Musk, so far as we know, but it's an ongoing story. More information could come to light, and then certainly that Connor Eats Pants stream was quite convincing. I certainly walked away from it being like, wow, that is so cringe. It has to be Elon. But Jake Shield, obviously massive ass racist, transphobe, pushing all kinds of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories online, shit like that. When the H1B visa controversy began, there was this idea that like a lot of people noticed that Elon Musk may in fact be acting 1% less Nazi. And that was too much. You weren't allowed to even be 1% less Nazi for the Nazis. They were like, no, it's all or nothing. We got to go all in, okay? This is an exterminationist project. We do not tolerate even a little bit of tolerance. That's not what we're about. And it wasn't that, Elon Musk suddenly cared about people of other cultures, of other ethnicities, of other races. It was not about that. It had nothing to do with the fact that he suddenly wanted to, de-apartheid Clyde or anything like that either. He wants to exploit people. That's what he does. He's a billionaire. He's got thousands and thousands of employees. He likes exploiting people, and he's completely fine exploiting people from other countries. Granted, he can get to pay them less. And so the H-1B visa program for Elon Musk is a win-win. I get very talented people because people of different ethnicities and cultures and societies can code just as well as white people. And so they come over to the country and he can pay them less. And then as part of that, he gets to, again, make more profit. That's all it is to Elon Musk. It has nothing to do with him suddenly actually becoming 1% less Nazi. But for the Nazis, it felt like 1% less Nazi. So for all of them, they're like, the whole like, I think I have the button. Yeah. And they were mad. They were so mad, big mad. They all got so angry. Every single one of them. They're like, "Wait, no, this is not Ubermensching. Come on, there's only one group of people who know how to code, and that is the master race." And then he was like, I am really frustrated right now with the fan base that I hath curated, you 4chan Reddit fucking monsters, but at this moment in time, no, I'm not backing down on this. I love exploiting workers. It doesn't matter where I exploit them from. Let's just say all exploitations matter. That's how Elon Musk believes. All exploitation matters, and so he wants to be able to exploit people from all countries, from all ethnicities, from all backgrounds, from all cultures. That's what he believes, to continue to be the richest man on the planet. And they took that as a slight, and then thus the whole Civil War thing kind of broke out. It was absolutely ridiculous. I bet you already drink coffee and love coffee, but you're probably worried if your coffee has blood in it. Not literal blood, but conflict zone blood. Did you want to buy coffee that is not only going to be delicious, it's going to arrive right on your door, it helps a little bit fund the serfs, and also it's end-to-end indigenous owned. That's why I partnered with Solstice Coffee, and hey, if you order by going to serfscoffee.com, they even include a free sticker, which is pretty awesome. So there's really no reason to actually not replace the coffee you already drink with delicious ethical coffee. That's why you should check out serfscoffee.com.
Hey, if you'd like to unlock secret bonus episodes as well as uncensored content, go to patreon.com/theserfs. This show is produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Puppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Travis McClinton, Trincel, Words Greenwood, with additional support coming from all of these amazing human beings right here.